Good morning, Devils fans. Get up on your desks and scream out, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." For today's spotlight is on Nico Hischier. Born January 4th, 1999, into a family of athletes. His father, Reno, having played for FC Naders, and his mother, Katja, worked as a sports teacher. Had two older siblings, brother Luca, who plays for EHC Biel in the NL, a professional hockey league in Switzerland, and his sister Nina, who played volleyball at a fairly high level in Switzerland as well. Growing up, living in Naders, the family was nowhere near a hockey rink, so Katja would drive Luca and Nico to nearby Visp, only about a 15-minute drive for the closest rink. Nico was also a fairly avid soccer player, but by 12, he moved on to play exclusively hockey, following in the footsteps of his brother. From here, Nico did play in both the 2011 and 2012 Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament with a youth team from Zurich. At 15, he moved from his native canton of Valais to Bern, where he'd play for SC Bern, allowing him to play at the top levels of Swiss hockey's U17 and U20 leagues, same as his brother had done at the same age. In 2015-16, he was playing for EHC Visp, an affiliate of SC Bern in National League B, the second highest Swiss league. However, due to some injuries in the main team, Nico would get to play with his brother in the top league with Bern for 15 games. At the 2016 CHL import draft, Nico was selected 6th overall by the Halifax Mooseheads of the QMJHL. Nico would end up having talks with both the Halifax manager and consulted with a fellow countryman and Halifax alum, Timo Meyer, before making the decision to move overseas and join the Mooseheads. He finished with the most goals and points as a rookie, and thus was awarded the RDS Cup for Rookie of the Year and the Michael Balsey Trophy as Best Prospect in the league. He was also awarded Rookie of the Year of the CHL. Leading up to the 2017 entry draft, Nico would have a phenomenal showing at the 2017 World Juniors, putting up 4 goals, 7 points in 5 games, where Nico almost single-handedly defeated Team USA. It was this performance that skyrocketed him up draft boards. Heading into the 2017 NHL entry draft, Nico was ranked 2nd overall behind Nolan Patrick. I personally, when we first won the first overall pick in the lottery, was Team Patrick. That was until I started watching clips and digging deeper into Nico's game, and then fully switched over really quickly to Team Nico, and I'm glad both myself and the team did, for as we all know, Nico ended up being selected 1st overall by the New Jersey Devils, and he is the first ever Swiss-born player to go 1st overall. I love the hockey, his famous quote from his draft day, I actually am lucky enough to have had a brother go to an exclusive event that off-season where he picked up the limited edition I Heart to Hockey shirts. I ended up going to the home opener that year as well at the red carpet event and got it signed by Nico, and this is still one of my most treasured possessions. Nico would crush it that year at training camp and preseason, earning him that starting roster position. So while he did go pointless in his first NHL game, he would still get the win, and would bag that first point in the very next game with an assist on a goal by Brian Gibbons and earning the team yet another W. Nico's first goal, and his second, would come 10 days later against Craig Anderson and the Ottawa Senators. He'd end up finishing the season with the second most points on the team, 20 goals, 52 points in 82 games, only trailing the MVP season of Taylor Hall. Even to this day, Hall still credits Nico in helping Hall accomplish that season. These two would help end a 5-year playoff drought for the Devils. However, we would be eliminated in 5 games by the Tampa Bay Lightning, where Nico had 1 goal and no assist. It would later be revealed Nico was playing with a hand injury that kept him out of the 2018 IIHF World Championship as well. As a sophomore, Nico put up 17 goals, 47 points in 69 games, playing mostly without Hall due to Hall's injury, and would lead the team in just about every metric. But obviously the team as a whole did not do so great. So in the last year of his ELC, Nico would end up suffering an upper body injury in a game against the Florida Panthers on October 16th. 2 days later, it's announced he has signed his extension to a 7-year, $50.75 million deal. That year, Hall would be traded, COVID shortened the season, Devils would miss the playoffs yet again. Nico would put up 14 goals, 36 points in 58 games. Heading into the first year of his new deal, Nico would get a leg injury prior to training camps. He would end up being out until February 20th, 2021, where on that same day, Nico would be announced as the 12th captain of the New Jersey Devils and the youngest captain in the league. Nico would only play in 5 games before taking a slapshot off the face by PK Subban, where he'd end up missing another 24 games, and so Nico would only play 21 that season, notching 6 goals and 11 points. Injuries and COVID really prevented Nico from showing the world how truly great he is after such a strong rookie season. But finally, in the 21-22 season, Nico would remain mostly healthy, putting up 21 goals, 60 points in 70 games, and would continue ramping up into the following season, getting to where we always knew he could and would be, scoring 31 goals, 80 points in 81 regular season games, second most points on the team behind Jack, and just playing an all-around phenomenal game, earning him his first Selke nomination and Selke finalist spot, ending second place with 3 first-place votes behind Patrice Bergeron. Do want to give a quick shout-out to Bergeron, who did just announce his retirement. Truly one of the greatest to play the game, with a long and very notable career, multiple Selke wins. But this now, with his retirement especially, sets Nico up to be a perennial Selke finalist and likely multi-time winner, but time will tell. In the playoffs last season, Nico did score 1 goal and 7 points in the 12 games. So who is the type of player Nico is on the ice? Well, he's one of the best two-way forwards in the league, and like I said, with Bergeron now retiring, Nico being second in Selke voting, it's safe to say that's a view around the league as well, that he is now the active best two-way forward in the league. He plays an all-situations game, 5-on-5, power play, PK, overtime, he does it all. He's a primary face-off guy where he did make vast improvements from his early years. Now, he's no Jack or Brat, but Nico is still one of the best transition players in the game and one of the best at rush offense. Doesn't have the deadliest shot, nor is he stuffing and rebounds, but his playmaking and net front tips give him a pretty nice arsenal in the ozone. He's still a 30-plus goal scorer. Likely won't be a 100-point guy like Jack, but outside of his rookie year, he's mostly had to drag subpar wingers until this most recent season and likely going forward, where he'll actually have some top-flight talent to play with. And I think once he really builds that synergy with them, we're going to see a level of Nico Hischier like last year and going forward that will really put him on the map as one of the truly elite in the league. He's not really going to throw the body around, but in my opinion, he still plays one of the best along-the-board games in the league. I say top 3, with really only Sidney Crosby being the clear better player in that facet of the game. Defensively, he's always in the right position and is an absolute workhorse, always getting back, always willing to make any play that is necessary, willing to block shots. He truly does it all, everywhere and anywhere on the ice. So what about off the ice? Well, Nico tends to be fairly low-key, but has a great personality that really shines through when he does do media availabilities. Guys in the room really respect him, and his leadership style is very much so about leading by example. But he's not afraid to lean on other guys in the room for advice, ask them to speak up, or speak up himself when it's warranted. There's clearly a camaraderie in the room with him at the helm, and he helps facilitate and build the type of environment that the ownership fits and the guys really want here. I wouldn't have it any other way, but I'll get a little bit more into that in just a moment. So what are we looking at for Nico going forward? Well, he's going to help lead this team to glory. He's going to be a Devil for life, so don't worry about the 4 years that are left on his contract. His game will continue to age gloriously, and he's going to be a multi-time Selke winner. When it's all said and done, we're going to see 13 up in the rafters along with other Devils legends. So what about my top 3 for Nico? Well, I'm going a slightly different route than I did with the other players I've done to this point, as most of these are off-ice stuff. So coming in at number 3, it's when Nico was taken first overall and is the first overall in franchise history. Now for me personally, before we won that pick, and especially before we took Nico, I was still watching almost every game. I was still following every game for the team. But given the level of talent, the lack of upcoming talent in the cupboard, and just the general foresight to see where the direction of the team was heading, they did not seem to have any path to being cup contenders, given the state of the roster. When we won that pick and brought Nico in, it truly reinvigorated my love for the team. I have not missed a single second of a single game since then. and I don't plan on missing any going forward. At number 2, it's the one on ice moments really for Nico that I have on here, as it's his sticking up for his teammates and just general on ice play. In his rookie season, I knew Nico would end up being a future captain and great player on this team when we had the likes of Hall taking a dirty hit or a knee on Palmieri, and both times Nico came flying in to stick up for his boys. We've also seen Nico drop the gloves on occasion, and while we all know and Nico knows he's best on the ice for helping facilitate win for these teams, when it's necessary, Nico sticks up, stands up, and will throw punches for any and all of his guys. At number 1, my top moment for Nico was when he became captain of the Devils. We knew it was going to happen, and this was clearly the correct choice. Nico leads by example. He sets the mood and tone for this team, and it is obvious to all off the ice and all in the locker room that he is bound to lead this team to something phenomenal. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This will be a dynasty team under Nico Hischier. I hope you all are as optimistic and excited about Nico going forward on this team as I am. I don't think there's too much really to argue with what I have said here. He's just that good. But that's going to do it for today, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Let's go Devils.